What we're going to do today is we're going to make some firecracker chicken. It's just for the 4th of July. I hope I can get this out by the 4th of July. Alright. So I got my recipe online, and obviously I like to change things up a little bit. So what we're going to do for the sauce, we got some rice vinegar, 2 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. The recipe calls for some cornstarch, but I'm not going to thicken it because we're going to be using it for poucho noodles, so I don't want it too thick. And then for the stir fry, we're going to use some olive oil in my pan here, 8 dried chili peppers. I ended up getting these off of Amazon. 2 teaspoons of ginger, 1.5 teaspoons of Asian black bean sauce. I got this off of Amazon, black bean garlic sauce. 2 teaspoons of, I'm going to say this wrong, so y'all have to forgive me, sambal oelek, which is, in English, ground fresh chili paste. So we're going to put 2 teaspoons of that in there. Then we're going to put a bag of pepper onion blend in the freezer. And that is 1 pound 4 ounces. 12 ounces of cut green beans from the freezer. Then we're going to put our 3 to 4 cups of rotisserie chicken. We're going to stir fry that all together, and we're going to end up with something nice. Sounds pretty easy. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some oil in my skillet here. That's a big one. Get that heated up. We're going to char our vegetables a little bit in that stir fry, in that hot oil. That's my green pepper, red bell pepper, onions, and green beans, frozen. We're just going to put that in my super hot skillet and fry these up a little bit. So we'll get back to you when these are nice and tender. Okay, those onions are starting to turn translucent, so recipe calls for 8 of these chili peppers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're doing 10 mils, so I'll put 10 in there. I got a ton of them. And we'll just fry those up with those vegetables here for a couple minutes. Alright, ready to add 2 teaspoons of garlic. 1, 2, 2 teaspoons of ginger. Let that garlic just for a few seconds get toasted in there. It's starting to come together. Alright, you ready for the sauce? 1.5 teaspoons of black bean sauce with garlic. 2 teaspoons of that sambal oelek, spelled S-A-M-B-A-L O-E-L-E-K, which is my ground fresh chili paste. What did it say? 2 teaspoons. 1/3 cup of soy sauce. 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar. Now we are just ready to add our chicken, and I got between 3 and 4 cups of rotisserie chicken. Mix that in there with that. 2 teaspoons of white wine. 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. 2 teaspoons of sugar. Alright, let's get this all heated up and it's done. Nah, I'm sorry. I gotta put some more heat on that. We'll start with 1/2 teaspoon. That's 1 teaspoon of sriracha sauce, by the way. So we've just added 1 teaspoon of sriracha to that. Let me see what it tastes like. Two teaspoons of sriracha. That's just a little bit dry to me. I'm going to put 1/2 cup of water in there. That. Oh, I'm sorry. We're doing Firecracker. It better be Firecracker. Alright, that's 3 teaspoons of sriracha. I won't get this right for me. I'm going to tell you guys to put enough heat in there for you. The recipe doesn't call for any sriracha, but I just don't find that. I'm going to call that good because the heat don't hit you right off the bat when you bite it, but you do taste it as it's going down. All right, let's get this all cleared off and we'll get it trayed up. All right, let's see what we got here. Put about 1/2 of this in each tray. Ooh, we got made that hot. That's some firecracker. All right. Well, let's get that divided into 10. We're going to be putting 2 squares per pouch. I'm going to put 5 peppers. So 1 with a pepper and 1 without when we package it. Do the same thing, 1 pepper per side. There you go. There's 10 individual portions there. So I'm going to get this in the freezer, get it frozen solid. Once it's frozen solid, we'll fire up the freeze dryer and get them in the freeze dryer. Now I'm going to pack my ramen noodles and freeze dry those. Basically take one of these pouches, open it up. They are folded in half. So I'll run a knife down the center of them, kind of like that. Cut them in half. That is 2 pouches. So we use 5 packets of ramen noodles without the seasoning packet. And I'll just stack these on a tray in my freeze dryer and we'll freeze dry them. That's simply because these packages are so flimsy and I don't want to take the chance that there's any moisture in those for long-term storage. So we'll run them through with a load of this. So next time you see all this, it'll be coming out of the freeze dryer. I'll see you then. There we go. 40 hours plus in the freeze dryer, and it is done and nice and toasty. So let's get to packing. Now my dividers didn't cut that too well, but we'll get over it. So my goal here is to get 10 meals. So we're going to take 2 squares of the Firecracker mixture and 1 square of ramen noodles. I put it in each meal pouch. Now I'm going to get this to where each meal pouch is going to have 1 of these red chili peppers. I'm looking forward to trying this. And 1 of these. Alright, so we're going to do the rest of these off camera, and I'll be right back. Alright, got that all pouched up. Now we'll take my 300cc O2 absorbers, which I buy in packs of 10s from topmylar.com, and put 1 of those in each of these pouches. Go ahead and zip that shut. Just get it out of the humidity. Oh, we'll do the rest of this off camera, and I'll be right back. Alright, got those all zipped up and packaged with my O2 absorber in it. My sealer has preheated, so let's get them sealed. I like to seal that and then watch along the edge there, and I see it melt, and I know it's got a good seal on that. So I'll get this done off camera, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, there we go. So we'll let this, turn that down, off. Let that cool down. We'll leave these out for a day or 2 just to make sure no problems occur with these seals. Make sure everything stays nice and tight. Then we'll get it put away for long-term storage. Next time you see me, we'll be coming back to test one of these, taste test, and that won't be long. It'll be like that. Alright, let's give this Firecracker Chicken a taste. O2 absorber. That's what we got on the inside of the pouch. Now, we're going to go with my standard 3/4 of a cup of water. I think this is going to make it a little bit more runnier than when we made it, more saucier, I'm hoping. Just lock that shut. We'll let that sit for 2 minutes. I'll see you in 2 minutes. Alright, that's been 2 minutes. So let's open it up and give it a stir. Alright, give that shut. We'll let that sit for another 2 minutes. And while that's sitting, I'll just tell you about the pouches that I use. I get these from topmylar.com. And they're called the single meal pouch is what I use. 7 mils thick, designed to hold boiling water, and the size of the pouch, or the shape of the pouch, is like a bowl. That is, it's wider than it is tall, which means you can eat it right out of your pouch, and the fork or your utensil will get to the bottom. Very convenient for eating stuff. So I get these from topmylar.com. I do have a couple of promotion codes that they give to my viewers, and I'll just go ahead and put those in the description box below the video instead of going over it every time. But there are a couple of good codes for you to use, and I would encourage you to do that. Check out the bags at topmylar.com. Alrighty, there we go. There's my final 2 minutes there. Open it up one more time. Give it a nice stir. So like I say, we could eat this right out of the pouch. But we like to dish it up for the viewers. Let's get her dished up. Oh yeah, look at all those vegetables and chicken and noodles. Let's dig in and see what it tastes like. Very eye appealing. There's some chicken there and some noodles. That has come back perfectly. Now, I do not eat that red chili. I like heat, but that's too much if I eat that. So I'll pull that out. I was a little bit worried that I might have overdone that sriracha sauce, but for me, I didn't. For you, you might want to be careful, because I do have some heat in this, but I like heat. I don't find that sriracha, I don't find that it gets spicier from the freeze drying process, with the exception of if you don't put as much moisture back in to your product as you took out when freeze drying, then obviously that pepper is going to be stronger. So you'd want to make sure you reconstitute it to pretty close to what it was when you had it fresh. This is delicious. Firecracker chicken. I hope that by the time you guys see this video, you're all preparing for your big family get-together this 4th of July. Gonna have some barbecues and fireworks and good company. And you might consider, while you're at it, serving up some firecracker chicken. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers and happy Independence Day.